You should use a condom before you listen.
The American dream is dead.
John Lisle, L.A. Lloyd, and Drew Bennett, Beaver Cool Aid.
I'm actually at half mast right now.
Yeah. For John McCain and for Manu.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Manu and John McCain.
Ginobili of the Spurs has retired, and everybody's kind of up in arms about it, upset, sad.
Well, I was ready for him to retire about 3 years ago, and then it seemed like, last season he had a resurgence. Otherwise, I was screaming for a couple of seasons, okay, let it be. Let it be.
His hair retired a long time ago.
Grandpa. What do they call it? Grandpa juice or grandpa?
I don't know. It's just kind of weird because all of a sudden it's gone, and that represents a good slice of my life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big Three's gone, man. Tony, Timmy, Manu. So I guess Pop's going to really.
By the way, we
have
are
to show
talking about the San Antonio Spurs.
Right. For those of you who are living in L.A. sucking LeBron's dick right now.
Wow, Lloyd.
Wow. Well, so much. Hang on a second. Honey, you probably should go to bed now. Yeah. No, I didn't think he was going to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He gets aggressive.
I forgot I was on speaker headphones.
An explicit thing on our podcast.
Okay.
Well, he fucking does it every week.
We'll do the daddy-daughter podcast visitation thing.
Right. Yeah.
Take your child.
Yeah.
Take your child to Beaver Cool Aid Day.
All right.
But seriously, if you were playing college ball right now, the last thing you want to get is to be recruited in the East, because the West, I mean, I can't see an East championship in the next 10 years. I mean,
why not? Boston's pretty good.
Oh,
Philadelphia?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Atlanta, LA.
I mean, it's brutal. I mean, Houston.
LA's going to be rough.
Clippers are looking great. I mean, the West is the best. No doubt about it.
Yeah, but the Spurs are going to have to kick it back into shape pretty quick. I mean, we dismantled, right?
It's gonna be a very different team. So don't look for a lot of defense.
No.
But yeah, different team.
They got that new kid though. He's real good.
Yeah, that guy.
New kid. Did you see
Stewan Raven?
When they drafted him and he walked on, he put his hat on and it just kind of sat up there on his head.
It's kind of like the Spurs dynasty is kind of like 80s hair metal bands or MTV video bands where you knew the drummer of the shittiest band ever because you always saw him. Yeah. Now you're like, it's like the bands from the 2000s, like Faceless, Nameless. Like, yeah, that new guy's supposed to be pretty good. I don't know his name, but that's the Spurs.
So Louis C.K. performed a show. He went into a comedy club for the first time in a year since the entire thing went down, and he performed an unannounced show.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Somebody on Facebook already had this zinger. They said, classic Louis performing for people who aren't aware that he's going to be performing for them.
So how did it go? Have you seen any footage?
He just did a 15-minute show.
Yeah, it wasn't that big a deal. But my point is, do you guys think that Louis C.K. With the whole Me Too thing, do you think he's been beaten down enough, or do you think he needs to sit down for a little bit longer?
Down enough.
My wife is a huge fan of Louis C.K. She's seen him in Vegas. She's seen him in Austin several times. She got, really like, I'm like, okay, how do you feel about your boy right now? And she's like, oh, he's disgusting, et cetera, et cetera. But I have a feeling.
That you just don't even listen to the stand-up and you don't feel the same way.
Right. I have a feeling. I was like, look, I got Louis C.K. He came by the radio station today. He offered me a few, tickets to come to the show tonight. I promise you, she would get in the car and ride with my ass over there. I would go see him right now. I mean, look, I thought he was funny. I liked his TV show. Thought he was original. If he did a show in Austin this weekend for Labor Day, I got a couple of tickets to go see him. I'd drive over there and check it out, wouldn't you, Drew?
Go see Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's not that I want to continue to punish the guy and not go and see. I mean, everybody should be able to go out and make a living.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me,
You think he needs a little more punishment?
I'm not even saying that. You know, if there are fans of Louis C.K., I guess I'm with you here on this, Lloyd. I don't think he's incredibly funny. I don't think he's George Carlin funny.
Who gives a? Who cares if he's
and so
funny
I'm
or not?
I'm not going to go. You're right, but I'm not going to go and see him anyway.
Right.
So I don't care if people go or not. You know what I mean? Or for whatever reasons they have to go or not go.
I was kind of a fan. I was kind of a fan, you know. So I mean, look, I was like, I'm not going to go on Facebook and defend him.
The point, man. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or not. That's not really. I don't think that's the original point. It's like, is it time for him to do this?
Right.
Has he suffered enough? Can he now do this? I mean, what is when do you get to kind of reintegrate? I don't care if he's funny or not. It has nothing to do with that. It's just
well, let's put it like this: it's two different scenarios, but still a comic that was huge. Not that great at stand-up, but he was on a huge television show, is the Kramer character who lost his shit and went off on a black guy and called him the N-word many times, and he hasn't ever come back. So, I mean, that's a bad thing. Sex thing is a bad thing, but that guy hasn't had a comeback yet. I mean, he did a little stint with Seinfeld on his drinking coffee in cars, which was actually kind of funny. And I think Seinfeld was trying to kind of help him come back into the mainstream again, but that's the only thing I've seen him do. So
what was wrong? What was going through his mind when he did that? What an idiot.
Well, I mean, I think he's probably always had that in the back of his. You just don't all of a sudden become racist on stage because you lose your shit. I mean, he's probably already had that and lost his mind, but
right.
You know, it's just like you don't drop your drawers in front of anybody who walks in your hotel room and starts whacking off either. I mean, there's some weird shit that's going on that leads up to it. You just finally got caught. So
I'll answer it then. I really don't think that the guy should be able to, reintegrate, put his TV show back on. Not that, I mean, if he wants to go and do stand-up, that's great. People want to go and watch him, that's great.
Right.
But do I think he needs to go, we need to welcome Louis C.K. back from the corner? Not really. I think it's kind of disgusting what he did.
Well, you could throw.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, maybe, but he didn't go rape somebody. I'm just not following any of this. First of all, it doesn't matter, whether or not he's funny. It's just whether or not, like I said, are you morally ready to forgive the guy? And it's like that's meaningless too. Right. It doesn't matter. They're going to be. You just reintegrate. That's what everybody does now. Look at Kobe Bryant.
That's a good point.
I mean, there are all sorts of different. There are plenty of people. You get to that point. There it is. You're back in. Life goes on, dude.
Jimmy Swagger.
It's Louis C.K. I think we got these. It's Louis C.K. It's not the man.
Louis C.K. can't win championships,
right? I guess that's what it is.
I mean, so if the guy tries and it happens, if it doesn't and he's ostracized, I don't give a shit. Frankly, I really don't. I mean that's what I'm saying. I looked at that today and I thought, yeah, at some point in your life, you got to nut it up and get back after it. So I actually took it as a life lesson for me when I was looking at that saying, like, when are you going to nut it up and get back after it? So I did that, that's what I got from that, because no matter what it is, I mean, you got to keep going. You got to step back out there.
It's been about 2 weeks for Alex Jones, so I'm hoping he can make a comeback by Labor Day. I mean, shit. Get him back on Facebook, right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's correct.
You know what you should do right now? You should call the Beaver Cool Aid hotline. We haven't heard from anyone. We did put the number out there, and
no one calls.
No one calls, man.
Wow, that's a shame.
I mean, but
no one calls anymore. But try it anyhow, Lloyd.
I'd love for you to call in.
Well, what's the number?
See, that's the problem. I never remember it.
Why are you bringing it up?
That's the first problem. If you don't know it, yeah.
He's like, let me tell you what. There's a party at my house. Oh, cool. What's the address?
I don't know where I live.
No idea.
Right, but you're invited.
You're invited, though.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you very much for Whining is. I love that. We have a number. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't really matter because someone calls it anyhow.
I don't want to harp on. I don't want to sit and talk about Hollywood and
Can I really give the number out? I was just kidding.
Do you have it?
I got it.
All right.
855-576-2530. 855-576-2530.
Yeah, I dare you.
I dare you to call us because we will put you on the show no matter how bad your call is because your call could not be any worse than this podcast. So.
Right. You just say, why? You didn't like this podcast?
Right.
I was just going to say you can call up and say, hey, man, you're a real a-hole.
Yeah.
Because of what the way you are. And that's not, but.
I have a feeling we'll get some Louis C.K. supporters, some Alex Jones supporters, and
Jones supporters. That's just so funny. God, I wish I just being not totally insane, but just this side of insane. I wish I had that gig.
So, Drew, back to your Hollywood story.
It is. It's like Fernwood Tonight, but on or something like that. It's just too bizarre.
Fernwood Tonight.
No, so here's the deal. I don't want to sit and become entertainment tonight. But Eddie Murphy is 57 years old. Have you seen his wife, Paige Butcher?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my goodness!
How old is she? 26.
I just saw something. Was he expecting another child?
20s
child. He's having his 10th child.
Wow.
10th child.
There's a big difference between Eddie Murphy and Louis C.K., obviously.
They're going to have to do a TLC series on him. Eddie's 10 kids.
Eddie doesn't waste it.
No, he does not. The only thing he's wasting is child support, man. That's it.
This girl is gorgeous. And anyway, he said expecting his 10th child. He's 57.
Wow. God bless him.
Baby at 57.
I don't give a shit if I was 37. I wouldn't want 10 kids. I don't care how old or how young you are. That's crazy.
What do you guys think about having kids when you're an older guy?
Oh, boy, you're walking on some thin ice.
I'm talking about babies when you're in your late 50s. I'm talking about Larry King kind of stuff.
Larry was a lot older, though.
Like Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin's probably around, late
Alec
50s.
Baldwin is 60. He's a year older than I am.
All right, so he's got a brand new child.
So when he twerks, his balls are definitely bouncing on the floor. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, it used to be life expectancy was what, 40?
Yeah.
So 45.
Right.
And people died. That's the way it was. I mean, now,
well, let me ask you this, John. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, is anything set in stone that you got to be around for 70 years?
If you met a really hot 25-year-old, fell madly in love with you, she said, man, John, you're the dude, man. You're the one I've been waiting for my entire 23 years. And she goes but there's one thing, man. We got to have a baby. I know you're 59. I know you still, we might have to do the reverse vasectomy thing, but I need a baby.
Baby, look just like you.
Look just like you with your little mullet back in the 80s.
Well, that's the one reason I held out on vasectomy for so long. But because I said, well, I'd always tell the wife, whichever one, God forbid, but you're in a fiery auto accident and everybody dies and, you don't want me to be lonely.
Right.
And somebody that's a condition. But after my son was born in 2008, when I was 49, I said, that's it. It doesn't matter.
No mas.
That's it. No more procreation.
All right. How about you, Drew? I mean, would you, I know you've got about 10 years before you start pushing the late 50s, but if you were in that scenario and life had some big dramatic changes and you met someone a little younger than you that was, ready to have some kids, would you go there? Would you be the Mick Jagger? Would you be the Alec Baldwin?
I've thought a little bit about it. There's a couple things that kind of went through my head on it. One of them was that, I don't want to have to be the father of a kid who lost his father when he was young.
Right. No, I get that. Yeah.
And so that's the big deal there. But then there's the other part of it where, if you wind up in a relationship with someone significantly younger than you, and that person wants a child, who's this, and you're in, decent shape,
Right.
to be around for a while, who's to say that, that kid won't be happy and you wouldn't have had some great years with it, and
Yeah.
and so on.
And
so
you
there's
keep them
plenty to
away
think
from the
about.
gays.
Plenty to think about there, but I don't know.
While you're still strong and virile.
Right.
Depends on the situation. Would I Larry King it and have one when I'm 82?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
I kind of come from a selfish standpoint at this point in my life at, late 50. I'm like, look, I've got 2 amazing kids. I love them. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me is to have 2 daughters. But I'm kind of at a point in my life that I kind of compare it, not that I make Howard Stern money and not that I have a model girlfriend in my future, but she made up her mind they weren't going to have kids. I mean, Howard had his thing with the kids and he was like, man, I'm done. I want to spend the rest of my older life enjoying the fruits of my labor, go travel, go see stuff. And I don't need to be waking up at 58 years old, changing diapers at 3 a.m. I would have to say, sorry, if that's what you're looking for, you got the wrong guy.
Oh, Lloyd's out.
But aren't we talking about?
Drew?
Don't you have to? We're talking about you being in some kind of a fantasy.
Yeah, he just
world
talked
anyway.
about some unreal scenario.
Yeah, right. I mean, let's just add on to the fact that you've got a sit-in nanny and she's hot too. And
Right.
You got all this money. Would
Yeah.
you do it? That's what these guys are.
I would
these guys
not do
aren't going to
it.
have 10
I
kids
would not
unless
do
they've
it.
got tons and tons and tons.
I don't know. She was 19, but she came on to me, man. I'm telling you, man. She was all over me. She was all over me. What was I going to do? Oh, my God.
Just get up to me at a remote, ask for some
You're a
CD.
child. Stop.
Every young woman is all
fastest.
disappointed now because I said I didn't want to have any more kids. So
What was I
I'm
supposed
sorry.
No, I don't think so.
All the 20-year and
Most were
30-year-old
probably,
women of the
really
world.
Glad.
It's like I don't want
Really,
that
really
old
glad.
fucker crawling on top of me.
So if you're not going to have children anymore, man, why don't you get fixed?
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do is
For the next 7 people who call in,
855-576-2530.
you can be in the room when I get my Lloydsectomy.
Lloyd and I went to the Kansas concert the other night. And it was really good.
They weren't fixed, man. They were just fucking sterile. They were old, man. There was menopause and there was old balls. And, look, I felt really young at that show. It was the first concert I'd gone to in a long time that I felt really fucking young.
John, there wasn't a wet vagina in the house.
Except mine. That was the only
It was
one.
good, though. They were great.
It was a good show.
And, they play songs that you're like, oh, wow, I think I remember that from the depths of my brain.
Right. There was more than Dust in the Wind and Carry On Wayward Son. I mean, there was...
Yeah, and Point of No Return. There's
Point
way
of
more
No
than
Return.
those songs.
There was Play the Game Tonight. There was Hold On.
Hold on, I
Even
love
beyond
Play the
those,
Game Tonight.
even beyond those songs, some of those other ones, I was like, wow, I like know that.
Yeah,
song.
there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it was a musician's dream come true because they all could play really well. And the guy that was doing the vocals
were you
now,
on Lloyd's shoulders.
we were pretty close. I think we were pretty
We
close.
were close. We were sitting in the right behind the soundboard.
We had good seats.
Yeah.
Little perk of the job, John. If you ever come to
They're way
Austin, man,
more
I'll take you to a
kind of-
Kansas show, man.
The drummer used to fill in for Neil Peart. I don't think you realize how kind of prog rock Kansas is.
They're very prog rock, and I hate prog rock. I'm not a prog rock guy at all.
Everybody kind of thinks of Dust in the Wind.
No,
and
that's
stuff.
because you're younger, dude. People that are my age or a little older, they know that's not it.
I did not realize how prog rock they were till I saw them live. I was like, good God.
Think of Dust in the Wind.
Yeah.
To go
Right.
back to the 70s and listen to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But then they got to a point where they started to suck. So
There was a part in the show that I told Drew, though, and Drew can vouch for this. I was like, dude, John would fucking love this show. I was going like, I wish he was here, man, because he would fucking love that. He'd probably you would have the only boner in the house. Like, no wet vaginas, but one boner. belongs to John Lisle.
But I will say this. I mean, half the band has only been in the band since 2014.
Right.
And, Kansas is since its beginning in the early 70s.
But it's not like they had a bunch of young guys up there like Foreigner does. Foreigner's got, one dude and like everyone else is in their 30s and 40s. I mean, Kansas, all these fucking guys look old. I mean, they look like your granddad up there playing.
There's 2 or 3 guys that were original members of Kansas that are still in the
There's
band.
a guy up there with an eye patch and one guy with a wooden leg.
Yeah, he's an original.
So,
Eye patch is original.
But the singer bowed out.
right.
Oh, yeah.
But the guy they had actually could hit those notes, and I was going like, man, that's pretty impressive. He can hit that shit.
It's not one of those where you go, oh, Kansas is coming? Oh, I got to save my money for that one.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look, I even told, we had a promotions meeting at the station today.
Those are the best ones because those are people that can actually play and perform.
They did. I mean, and there was no electronic gadgetry. I mean, I even told our sales manager today, I was like, I got to tell you, man, I was a little apprehensive about promoting this show, but fuck. It was one of the biggest shows I've ever seen at Nutty Brown Cafe. So.
And not just a bunch of old people. There were a lot of young kids.
Yeah, it was good.
Watching.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Thanks for taking me, Lloyd.
Yeah.
It was our birthday party celebration.
Yeah, we had a little beaver date.
Yeah, I missed him last. When was this year? Last year.
Yeah, John, you want to go to see Gordon Lightfoot with us and get shit faced after us?
Gordon Lightfoot recently. Yeah. No, that's okay. I can. I'll do without the Gordon Lightfoot, but I'll go see Kansas. I always like
now that's funny, Drew.
There was no.
That was.
You want to go see Styx without Dennis DeYoung and then go get drunk?
I didn't want to see Styx with Dennis DeYoung, so that's okay.
Oh, you're a Tommy Shaw guy. I get it.
Oh.
No.
Say no more. Say no more, fam.
Guess what Canada beat us at again? They've beat us at pot. And now, John, you'll probably appreciate this because this is right up your alley. A nondescript Toronto shopping plaza is got a new tenant that's opening up in September. And it's advertising itself as the first sex brothel in North America with dolls. First sex doll.
So wait a second. Is that begs the question. Because it's dolls,
Right.
that makes it legal?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a nail salon, there's a massage parlor, there's a dry cleaner, and then there is an exciting new way to achieve the needs without the many restrictions, limitations of a normal brothel, say in Nevada.
Yeah, it's like an adult discovery zone.
Right.
It's like a jamboree.
Yeah.
So the question is,
Yeah.
it's very discreet. There's no one at the counter. You basically kind of walk in. There's a camera as you walk through the door, and you kind of pay your money. And I don't know exactly what the difference is, but it ranges from $60 to $742 per doll. Now I don't
$60 one get.
Yeah, that's what well, what does the 742 one get? I mean, 'cause I'm thinking that goes to some kind of.
Well, Lloyd, it's market dynamics, frankly. It's whatever the market can bear.
How much is it?
If you can get $740, then
I mean, I don't know if that you just
I
get.
begrudge her.
Maybe it's like based on time you're with the doll. I don't know, but I mean,
How much is it if I pull a Louis C.K. and just go in there and masturbate in front of it?
Yeah, in front
you
of
get that for $30.
her. But her head's on backwards.
The good news is,
So you get the blim for $30.
maybe if you pay $742, you get a fresh doll because they will clarify this, that the dolls have been used by other customers, but they are thoroughly sanitized between clients. If that makes you feel better.
Do you to
Bottle
me, I would
washer.
envision this as being more effective if you downloaded an app and you put your money into the app, and then you went and you booked a room, right? And then you go into the room and everything's kind of unlocked for you, right?
Yeah.
Because they got it with hotels now where you got your keys digital and everything's on your phone. And so you go in there and everything's kind of discreet like that instead of having to like pay your money in some vending machine. What do you have to put it down into the vagina and it just kind of sucks it up in there and then you can go at it? Is that what happens?
Look, man, the thing that I think about is I used to worry about, if you wanted to watch Spanktervision there and it's going to come up on your American Express back in the 90s. Now you got to worry about, hey, honey, what's this Aura Dolls thing you did up in Vancouver when you were up there visiting for that convention? I mean, it was like, what's this $742 charge? So, honey, I didn't cheat on you. I swear to God, I did not cheat on you.
What is this line on our Marriott bill that says sex doll, $600?
Lyle's already planning his trip to Vancouver and Toronto already.
Here's the big question.
No, because it's obviously one of these things that, it's just meaningless except for a story.
Right.
People ain't going to go and bang on the doll all day. That's just
there you go,
silly.
Todd Rundgren, a reference.
Yeah, that's
right
just
there,
silly,
ladies and gentlemen.
What would that be?
But they can't arrest you. I mean, here in America, why would they do it in America? I mean, because
how long have you been able to do this in Japan?
They said the only other one that's done this is Germany. I guess Germany's been doing. Yeah,
I don't believe that.
Well, that's according to the story I'm reading.
Come on,
the only other one was Germany.
You blow up a bunch of freaking dolls in different varying qualities and shove them in a room and say, get at it?
They said this is the first one in North America, the world's first brothel showcasing silicone sex dolls opened in Germany last year.
The only way it's going to turn on some guy is they got to do this out in a park somewhere.
Right. Well,
you have to be in some kind of public park, right?
I think the $60 one.
Yeah.
You walk into a room and it's just filled with a bunch of those cheap sex dolls you find at any store.
Right.
And then you buy the $750 one. And that's one of those.
But why go to a strip mall in Toronto to do that when you can do that right in your own bedroom? I mean, to me, it's like.
That's why it's bullshit.
Maybe guys don't want to have that stored in their house or they don't have the ability to store it.
Yeah, some like to, because you could, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to Toronto.
Instead of going to the range and hitting a couple of balls.
And there's going to be some guys that would normally hire a hooker that don't do it because they're so socially stunted anyway they don't even want to have the conversation.
Well, so I have a room full of various melons.
I'm just thinking about going to Toronto right now. Get me a Cuban cigar.
To varying temperatures.
And work it.
The cantaloupe room is right down the hall to the right.
Right, and there is portability there. I was reading in the paper about how Southwest Airlines had kind of clarified their companion animal policy,
right?
And their service animal policy.
Yeah,
I heard. Yeah,
and so the funniest thing is on service animals. So effective for travel beginning September 17th, 2018, Southwest is making changes to our existing policies for accommodating customers. Customers with disabilities seeking to travel with a trained service animal must still provide credible verbal assurance that the animal is a trained service animal. Additionally, note the following changes to our policy. 1, Southwest will only accept the following species of animals in our cabin as trained service animals.
Oh.
Dogs, cats, and miniature horses.
Now I want to see that.
And I saw that in the news story, and I thought, okay, if somebody just slipped that in, and they're loving it because it's just been reported everywhere. So I just had to go to the Southwest site, and there it was. Now,
so it's true.
I have seen the companion animals, the dogs, cats, whatever. I haven't caught one of these miniature horses yet.
Oh yeah.
And where do they go? Where do they sit?
No, where do they go? It's you're right.
Well, I know they go. I know what they're doing. I mean, it's like, really?
But where do they go? Do they go in the fucking aisle, or
not many play?
is there a little
miniature horse on a freaking plane? What's that for?
Is there a miniature horse
I
bag?
got a disability. I like riding on the horse.
It goes into the bag. Can't you put it into a bag? I mean, they're miniature horses.
Where is the horse going to shit at?
The size of a terrier.
I mean, I hate to bring the guy that's bringing up shit in the podcast, which I've been known to do a couple of times. Where is that horse going to take a shit at?
I don't know, but if there's an Eagles fan on the plane, they'll eat it right up.
Oh.
Hey now. No,
See a picture of that
I just
thing?
saw that and I flipped out. I thought maybe there's something I'm not aware of. Maybe maybe I just need to seek enlightenment. I haven't looked because I wanted to say miniature horses as service animals.
well, that was the question. I mean, I've never seen a miniature horse as a service animal anywhere.
Well, of course not. See, they won't let people now travel with rodents, ferrets, insects, spiders, reptiles, hedgehogs, rabbits, or sugar gliders. Acting as a trained service animal.
But you can have a miniature pony.
Your horse is fine. So let me it's three animals that are okay. It's dogs, horses, and what?
And
Cats.
Cats?
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you going to have a service?
A service cat, right.
That's weirder than a horse. Who's going to have when the hell do you ever have a service cat? What kind of cat is going to respond to any kind of command anyway?
None.
None. I don't know of a service cat. I've never
They'll just
seen
look
one in
at
my
you
life.
going like, you don't even think about putting me in that
you can
fucking
find a
cage.
fine service cat.
Right. Exactly.
These days, you can't find one.
Yeah, I'll just go up into your kitchen, pee in your
So how big is the dog you can take on the plane?
I don't know. I don't know the sizes. My
the
big
dog has
here
to be-
was about the fact that it said miniature horse.
Yeah, the dog can be as large as a miniature horse, Lord, if that
What
helps.
the hell is that?
That's
And
true.
who's trying to say this is my service hedgehog,
Right. Yeah.
This is my service guinea pig.
my service tarantula?
The service germ.
I can hear Ava right now listening to this podcast like, Dad, I can take my rat on the plane when we go home to North Carolina. And I can say it's my service
she
rat.
can't. That's banned.
Yeah,
but if she had a miniature horse, she could do it. Right, you could do that. That would be fine. And imagine you've got the, you always wanted you got the window seat. Disruptive behavior. Scratching, excessive whining or barking, growling, biting, lunging, urinating, or defecating in the cabin or gate area.
There you go.
So Louis C.K. can't be on any kind of plane.
Right.
Oh.
That's it. We're taking a poll tonight. If you'd rather have a miniature horse, a dog, or a cat, let us know. 855-576-2530. We'd love to hear your opinion.
You're never going to get a call on that.
855-576-2530.
I did morning radio way too long. You're never going to get a call on that one.
Well, I really would like to talk to somebody who owns a service cat.
Or a service miniature horse.
Dogs have paws. They can, open doors and everything. I mean, what can a horse do?
Show you where Dad passed out.
The only thing that the service cat does is shit in the bathtub.
And blame it on the horse.
I will go to your party and I will tear it up.
Really? Beaver Cool Aid
Hit it hard.
with Lisle, L.A. Lloyd, and Drew.
Make it like a man.
So go ahead, stick your head up your ass.